99.22 FM. This is Radio Ara. This is Radio Ara. Home of African music.
Welcome. We have a bit been late, but it's better late than never. Yeah, welcome. It's Sunday again. We have a special guest today, and we're going to talk about identifying abusers in a relationship. And that means any relationship today. I thought I will not talk about it alone. I need experts, and I need people who have experiences in this. And I got the honor of having a special lady who is very passionate. As she said, she's extremely passionate about this topic, and that is a lady that you're going to hear talking, exchanging with us, discussing with us, teaching us about identifying abusers in a relationship. And I'm sure many of you have been waiting, and welcome. Get your drink ready, get a nice comfortable place, and let's exchange ideas. You can call us or you can write also your questions. Just get to discuss with us, tell us your views as well, ask your questions, and let's talk about this. Our guest is, I'm sure, ready on waiting. Charity. She's called Charity Wanjiru Ngugi Lats. She's waiting on standby. She's done this work for so long, and I'm so honored that she took her time to be with us today. Charity, I am very, very thankful and also appreciating that you took your time from far away. Sunday is actually a free day, and you took the time to be with us, to talk with us about this special topic. I really appreciate it. And I know so many people are waiting to hear what you got to tell them, how much you want to teach them. So let's get ready. And you're all welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's not a topic about only women, it's a topic for everybody. It's a topic that can be useful for everybody. And so we are thankful that we can talk about this. You know, you're listening at Radio RFM based in Stuttgart, Germany. And this is Aggie's Live Talk Show. I talk of issues concerning the diaspora, and we do also other things like advertisements. If you have hit burning topics that concerns the diaspora, we deal with it. So feel free to get in touch with us. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter as well, and I think TikTok as well. And just try to get in touch with us if you have something burning that we need to talk about. And for advertisements, contact Radio RFM on Stockerstraße 16A and the PLZ 7119 Stuttgart, Germany. The email is radior1923@gmail.com, and the number is 163 or 0163 728 6573. So as we continue and you want to get in touch with us, just note down the information and get in touch with us. We are there for you. We are listening to you. We are willing to exchange our views and ideas with you because you mean a lot to us. We care and we love you wherever you are as African diaspora. We know the journey is not always easy, and that's why we take our time to deal with issues that move us. So welcome everybody. So let's welcome our visitor, Charity Wanjiru Ngugi Lats from Cologne, but she'll introduce herself. Let's see if we will get her on phone.
Yes, hello?
Yeah, hello, Charity. Hi.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm okay, yes.
I'm so glad you've taken the time to be with us this day in the afternoon, where many people would be resting and drinking their coffee and eating cake. You decided to have time for us. Thank you so much, and you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. It's an honor actually to speak about my favorite subject and my activism in it,
Yeah.
domestic violence and abuse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great because as I was talking with you about this, the possibility of doing the show with you, you told me a very striking statement. You said you are extremely passionate about this topic, and that really impressed me because if you're passionate about something, then you will have done research, you will have done have some experiences about it. Tell us about yourself. First of all, where do you live? What have you been doing until now? Let people get to know you and tell them about yourself and what you are planning.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm really, as I said, I'm really honored to be talking about this subject because I'm a domestic violence survivor. My name is Charity Wairi Mungugi Lats. I come from Kenya. I live in Cologne, and currently I'm working on a daily basis, but voluntarily for Kenyan women in Germany. I am in the Department of Domestic Violence and Abuse. And apart from that, I run my own blog on domestic violence and abuse. That's the Unmasking Domestic Violence and Abuse. And where I talk about abuses, I want to bring awareness. I want people to know and not be able to jump some of the loopholes, to be able, because I am a survivor of domestic violence and abuse as a child. Witness of domestic violence. I witnessed it from as far back as my mind can remember as a child. So that is maybe 3 or 2 years. I don't know. My father bashing my mother, and I've witnessed it in my own relationships until maybe for about 5 years ago or something like that. And then it suddenly woke up as I was trying to understand myself. Why do I act the way I act sometimes? Why do I come across some certain relationships? And then all of a sudden, I felt like this great awakening. Oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about it, and I've researched intensively, and I'm so glad to be talking right now.
Wow. Wow, that's something that's really a big package because it explains a bit of the word passionate because that's something that you've experienced not just recently in your own marriage, but you grew up also seeing violence. I know how that makes one feel because I saw it also in my childhood, and I remember some of the things are so vivid in my mind. I can see the pictures as if it was yesterday, and I know
Mm.
I know you don't forget such things when you see them as a child. It's like a film that gets burnt into your brain, and no matter how much you want to push it away, it doesn't
Mm.
disappear. So let me ask, why did you even decide to do this? I mean, some people they deal with this by just trying to push everything away and not to think about it anymore. But you decided to talk about it and to work on it and even to educate the others. What is the motivation?
The motivation was before I never talked about it for a long, long time. Then one day I decided to write a book. I'm also an author. So I wrote this book where we are 11 of us, we are co authors. It's called The Perfect Migrant. And I realized as I was giving my story, I was very bitter. And after the book was published, The Perfect Migrant, it's there on Amazon. We are 11 African writers. And I
Oh.
saw there was a lot of blaming, and I understood because I was wondering why I came to Germany. Because one of the major reasons I came to Germany was actually an escape from this. Although I came and got married, but the basic thing actually, I was escaping from a domestic violent relationship. And then when I came to Germany, I got married to a German. And now I couldn't bring my children, so he couldn't let me bring my children, and all this made me do a lot of things. The repercussions of domestic violence. This was now not physical, unlike the one in Kenya was physical, where I had 4 children with this man. This now
Oh.
was emotional because I couldn't bring my children until today. I've never managed to bring one. I just brought one and I gave up. And I tended to go into alcoholism, and I also did a lot of things I'm not happy about. So I started tracing back. I became very spiritual and traced my life backwards. And as I traced my life backwards, I realized that the ground, the foundation is the domestic violence that I witnessed as a child, I witnessed as a teenager, I went through it as a young adult, and I went through it as a grown up, and I was still through it in the many relationships. I couldn't just keep a relationship, and I started having a hatred for men and trust issues, even with friends and all that kind of thing. And then I said, I want to understand it and stop blaming. I really want to understand, why do people abuse
Yeah.
other people? Yeah, that is how it is. Basically, that is how I started.
So, on your own opinion, I mean, you've experienced all this, you've been asking your own questions. Did you get to the bottom of why do people abuse? Why? What are the reasons?
The basic idea of you have to understand what is domestic violence and abuse. Why does an abuser abuse? An
Yeah.
abuser abuses not because they just decided, no, they did it accidentally, not because of that. It's because the underlying reason why an abuser targets. They actually target. They target their lover, they target their date, they target the person they are going to marry, and at the back of their mind, they know that this person, they want to control it. It's all about the power and control.
Wow.
Somebody wants to have control. It could be your finances. It is some control. There are so many forms of control, but the whole thing is control. And then after they start testing that control, it's like a vampire. After they start testing that control, they can't get rid of it. And so there's the power, and they gain more power. So the more like they're hurting you, they beat you, they sort of get this lust of, maybe when he hits you and when you're crying, maybe they get a hard on or something. It is really, really got to do with emotions. And then the victim who is targeted being totally confused. And before they know it, they lose themselves and this person gains control over them. And that is the whole idea. So we really have to understand what are the red flags, like we had talked before.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And this is very important because I think it's very hard when you're inside to get out. It's harder than when you prevent. I mean, they say prevention is better than cure. So, and that's why we are talking about that, identifying these people, these abusers, actually, as you said, because they have a problem themselves. They have to deal with something themselves. And then they project it on the victim, actually. They plan how to deal with it, but in the wrong way. So what are the things that one has to take care of before? Let's talk about that. How can I identify? I mean, most of the guys, they do their best when they want to get somebody. They do their best to camouflage or to hide these things. But how can I do? What should I look for? What should I check for? What are the red flags?
The first red flag is the communication and the boundaries. I think it really lies there. When I take examples of myself, is when you don't set your boundaries, when you don't know who you really are and why you are with this person. You see, this person has targeted you. And for example, you go into a relationship and you immediately talk about your ex and all that, and the person is playing sympathetic, listening and taking notes. It's like an exam. They are taking you and they are studying you and they are studying you. So they are learning your weaknesses, but maybe in the course of all this talking, you are not even allowing them to communicate about themselves. So because they are giving you that listening ear too much, there is a communication where you start imagining this person to be very to be a good listener. And the more this person listens to you, because normally it's like that, where you give your whole self, and you want to be loved. And if you came from a sort of a kind of a dysfunctional family, maybe you want to be loved, you want to get married. So you are actually just giving this person so much power, so much attention, and then they start telling you some things like they want to hold you to themselves. So they start isolating you slowly by slowly. They start taking your power. Your friends your family. Oh, I would like to just, I love you so much. I've never met somebody so wonderful like you. You
You're
know,
perfect. Uh-huh.
every single moment I'm with you, I just don't want to be away from you. When you're at work, there's all that phone calls, especially that's a very big red flag. Somebody who constantly calls you, who gets up on your boundaries. You tell them you have a meeting maybe with your lady friends, the charmer. They ask you, can't you send somebody else to go? Because I really, this weekend, I would like us to go for a trip, or I'd like us to just stay at home together and be cozy and get to know each other, you know?
Hey, uh-huh.
Yeah, their communication. What are you two talking about? What is your conversation? Yeah, what is the conversation the first time you meet this person? After the first 2 days, lovely, lovely. What is the conversation? And
Yeah.
then moving in too fast, moving in too fast.
Yeah.
You find women who move into guys' places too fast. You also find men who move into, and that's a thing which is very common nowadays. It was not so common before.
Yeah.
But men who really are moving into women's houses
They run
slowly
so
by
fast.
slowly.
So
Yeah,
that's a red flag. It's good to know that.
it's a red flag. How do
Uh-huh.
you start staying with somebody you don't even give yourself time to have your own freedom? You just come straight from school, or you've just gotten a new job. We are now
Uh-huh.
talking about dating, eh?
Uh-huh.
That, because dating, yeah, and you don't give yourself time to know yourself first, to
It's true.
establish yourself.
Hey, that's scary. That's really scary. This is
Yes.
scary.
If you have seen a lot of people like these days who are in campus, let's talk about like in Africa, they go and stay in hostels, and then a young man meets with a young girl there, and before you know it, she doesn't want the young guy so much. Now she'd prefer an older person. The person pays for her a flat somewhere, and now he owns her.
Hey,
Before you know it, she's not even going to school.
no. This is terrible. And this is
Yes,
there where then she feels obligated to do everything he wants because she wants to continue having that attention from the person.
yes. And then this person is giving you too much praise, too much adoration, which is not normal.
Yeah.
Nobody can full time just be telling you how they love you. You're walking everywhere. They want to hold your hand. They don't want to let you go. Even when you meet a friend on the street, you're talking to this friend. They just, won't let your hand off. They won't stand away. They like will stand there, you know. You go
What?
to a party, you won't mingle.
Yeah. You're like, you are cushioned.
Yeah, you are like cushioned, and you are sitting there trying to behave, and then you lose your character. You start losing your character. Like if you're a very talkative person and you are mingling, you start losing your character because you go and you're trying to be ladylike and all lovey-dovey, and this person is just there quiet, observing you, observing your friends, starts criticizing your friends in very subtle ways, little
Wow.
by little,
Okay. That
you
that's
know?
that's really a red flag. You know, sometimes it feels like, oh, he loves me so much, he's trying to protect me from bad people. You know, but it's a, I mean, that's also a red flag. Ah, you're teaching me things, Charity. I tell you.
Yeah,
Ah, my goodness, my goodness.
yes.
But this is so subtle. I think all these signs are so subtle. It's so hard to differentiate them from this is now not good and this is not bad, because those are things that some of us women and girls expect,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
What is the trick? What is the trick there? I mean, because it's really confusing. For some people, they would say, oh, he was holding my hand the whole time, so that means he loves me so much. He bought me this. I mean, I had someone who told me that they met, and before even she said yes to the relationship, the guy wanted to buy a car, wanted to buy, you know, it's like, and some of us, this is for me, it would scare me. He wants to buy a car, he wants to know how you travel from A to and your schedule of the day and so on. This is also a red flag, or not?
Yes, of course, it's a very big red flag. Why should anybody just start owning you so much? Why should anybody want to? Why are they giving themselves time to know about you? But on the other hand, like I told you, they have targeted you.
Yeah.
The difference between you and them is that they know you.
They
You
have
don't know
profiled you.
them.
They have profiled you. They
They
know
have
you are
profile.
coming in and going out. Hi. This is
They know
something that
you.
only God has a right to.
Yes.
Oh.
Another thing is that they usually
Yeah.
abusers are liars, are compulsive liars. They
Wow.
are liars.
Wow.
But they will tell you lies, and then when they say a lie, you start feeling. You refuse to listen to your gut feeling. You remember he told you this story, but it sounded a bit different.
Yeah.
And because when they're talking about themselves, they really get all really because of their egoistic whatever. It's very easy to catch them, but you don't want to catch them. Women, we are naturals. Especially women, we are naturals.
Yes.
But so you don't really want to doubt them.
Yeah, and you
You
don't want to embarrass them. I had such a case that someone, would tell a story as if it is he who experienced that story, but it's my story. And then, of course, the details are not exactly what happened. But because there are 5 or 6 people listening, they're so attentive, you're scared of embarrassing him. So you don't even correct the person in front of the people. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, what are you talking about? My ex, the father of my children, what he did very fast in the relationship, he took over the car. Now he was driving my car, dropping me at work, and then I have to wait for him. And then he used to talk about it's my car. He used to talk about my job like it is his job.
Are you serious?
Oh
This
yes, I'm
is...
serious, and without shame and without a blink, and everybody's listening to him.
And they're so fascinated. This is the funny thing about such people, because they can fascinate people out there. They are so fascinating how they tell their stories, how they present themselves, how every detail is so well planned and everything to blindfold the people, I think.
I am telling you, yeah, because they are liars. Number one, they are liars. They are people without integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody can say, what about if it is a rich guy who has got everything but what do you know about him? I would like every person to always ask, what do I know about him? Can you try and find out who was his ex or who was her ex?
Okay.
Yeah, who was the ex, the ex. And if they start, whenever you say that you can't meet them for a date or something like that, and they start saying, they start getting angry. They say, you don't love me. They change everything about to guilt trip you. I think you don't love me. You never have time for me. And this person may be found every Saturday morning you go to a gym. Now, because they have slept over by your place, or you have slept over, they won't allow you to continue with your other part of life, or you always meet with your friends. But when it comes to them, they do that. They
It's
will do
funny.
that.
It's funny, eh?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Whoa, that's so crazy. That's really crazy. Let me say hi to these people. Ann
Oh,
Putla,
yes,
Nyathia
sure.
Kinyi, and Dumba Boy. Sim, you're saying you're locked. You're saying you're spitting what we need to hear. Guys, let me listen to wisdom. And then Nadia Kinyi says it's important to notice the red lights and moreover set your boundaries. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yes.
Charity, Dumba Boy said, Charity, come on. Ati, it's my really car. People's laws are out there. People have their own laws. So anyway, the boundaries. Let's talk about the boundaries. Even in this, at the point of when you're dating, you've not yet even committed, but when you're dating, how easy it is when you notice, hey, this guy is taking over everything that I am. How do you go about this? You start seeing it. He's like in your case, yeah, this is my car, this is my house, and then the stories they tell, it's as if they are the ones who own the stories, but it's actually they're talking about you. How do you set
Yeah.
those boundaries?
Yeah, the boundaries are, for example, if you, for example, from the very beginning, you didn't want a person who really drinks. Let's say, for example, let's go to a basic thing like drinking, and you didn't want somebody who drinks, and you find that this person drinks a lot. Yeah. And slowly by slowly, they get you into drinking because they say, you can take one glass of wine, it's not bad. And then you start compromising. You start compromising. Before you know it, you have already given one boundary away. When you
Wow.
start compromising that, for example, you are somebody who you say that every evening or 3 times a day, I always go jogging or walking or whatever. And you find that this habit you have cut off.
Uh-huh.
Or you have a time when you say, once a week, we meet with my girlfriends and we just go and chill together. And this person wants to drop you. And then they will even have the audacity to walk in and say, hi, girls, da, 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 instead of just dropping you and going away because they really want to find out where really you have gone inside.
That's a point.
Then you tell them to come at 6. By 5 o'clock, everybody said, hey, I'm seeing somebody walking outside. There's the guy who...
Oh, God, no. Okay.
Yeah, they've come even before time. And in between your situation with your person, they have called you or text you, like even now you can't concentrate to the conversation.
Of
You
course.
start slowly by slowly, your friends ask you, hey, what's wrong with you? Who is this person who has really made you crazy? Oh, yes. And let me tell you another very big red flag.
Okay.
If you ever feel you want to keep your relationship secret from your family and friends,
Yeah.
because maybe one of them made a comment, hey, do you know that person very well? That's exactly what I did. That one was a red flag from day one. Do you really know them? So the really close
Wow.
ones told me, I was told that guy
Wow.
is a fraudster.
Yeah.
I know that one. Kwanza, you start deleting them out of your mind, Why, how can they say like that? Jealousy. Now you are the one now who's starting. Jealousy now. Who
And then you
will
start hiding them.
Yes.
Oh, my
Now,
Lord.
this is now the part of secret you don't want to tell your parents.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell your siblings.
My
When
word.
you start hiding this person. You have moved in. The person has moved into you, or you have moved into their place. You are lying. Now you are starting to lie. You're
Yeah.
starting to become a liar.
Yeah.
This person is really enjoying because they know the secrets.
And
Aha.
is that not a
Uh-huh.
sign that they are already dominating your brain slowly, taking
Oh
over?
yes.
Eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, my dear. Oh, this
Have you
is
ever
really
seen people
scary.
who, yes, for example, have you ever seen people who come to abroad to Germany? They didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
In case people spoil my plans, you have to keep this secret. I'll let them know once I'm already there. And then you arrive here and you found this person you had met online is not who they said they are. They probably don't, they probably are retired with a very, very low pension. Hmm? And then they come here and start enslaving you. Now, how do you start telling those people back home?
How? You will not. You will die
Now tell me.
slowly, secretly.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's
You
why most of
die.
the people then will suffer secretly because they don't want to open up the whole thing.
Yes. And then there's social media. You start lying on social media, taking some
Uh-huh.
photos somewhere. So your lies start accumulating. And now the abuser knows. Now, can you imagine? Now I want to tell somebody out there, if this is what you have done, now you've got to say to yourself, stop. Let me be vulnerable like Charity and say, I went to alcoholism or I did this. Let me just say I need help. I made a mistake. I need help. If it's at home, just call and
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
you guys at home, I love you so much. I am in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, get up there. Nobody's gonna kill you. Somebody somewhere is gonna help you. But thinking that you can solve this issue when you're already in a foreign country all alone, it's almost like impossible. By the time people meet you, you're already addicted because
Yeah.
addiction. Most people start getting to addiction because as a runaway method. It's a sort of an illness also.
Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to hide from the reality.
Yeah, from when it is an addiction, there's nothing wrong with drinking. It's only when it is a misuse because then it is carried. Do you know there are times when I could drink like for 2 good days without sleeping, and I was like,
Oh, my
"Fine, I am
goodness.
okay and strong."
Really?
Oh yes, yes.
Really?
I've done
Wow.
crazy things, yeah,
Wow. 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 Wow.
because it was an emotional clutch.
Yes.
Yes, it was an emotional thing, and I discovered that it is as it sometimes this whole falling into abusive marriages, it is sometimes very generational. So be very careful if you are going through abuse and your children are watching it.
Yeah.
They'll most likely go. If it is a girl, she'll most likely be tuned more towards somebody because this is the kind of a father figure she knows. There's
Yes.
something about it. She'll find like it is okay. My mother was tolerating it. We were
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Dad was paying our school fees, but you are trying to cover up about the part that he was abusing your mother. Even there's a time when the person says to the children, "You see how stupid your mom is," and actually you start seeing like they're so stupid, they're
Yes.
crazy, they're not normal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. We've
Even
had, I've heard of such cases a lot, a lot, a lot. Carol K, you said is a great conversation. Charity, you hear what Carol K is saying. Thank you, dear. I know, I'm so glad you're listening. And I
yes,
hope we are all Carol K says it's
thank
a
you.
great conversation. Lioness Adla Sitsu is watching. We have a number of people watching. And Dumba
Fantastic.
Boy is based in Kenya. He's saying, can I ask, how do we tell like purpose? We are used to call each sweet romantic names, but now someone just calls you where, huyu mtu, morio, bro, etc. Isn't that also a red flag?
Somebody calling you Morio, that means your relationship is it's no longer love.
It's not love, it's no brotherhood and sisterhood.
Yeah, Morio.
No?
Morio.
Yeah.
It depends on that Morio now. I don't know whether it is in a joking way or how.
No, maybe it's a genuine question. Sometimes you may get together with somebody, he's so excited at the beginning, and then suddenly he's changing from sweet, babe, honey, sweetheart, blah, blah, and then suddenly you are bro or whatever. So he's asking, is that also a red flag?
Is a red flag there is a babe somewhere else.
Ah!
They're starting to hide you slowly but surely.
Yeah, if you get friend zoned, that's what they call it here. You get friend zoned.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh my
Even if the
goodness.
woman came there, she'll just hear you say, "Hey, Morio, my
Uh-huh.
sister. Hey,
Uh-huh.
Morio." Yeah.
They,
So,
no, no, you are already in the past tense.
yeah. So they will just know that, yeah, you're already in there's something being hidden somewhere. There's something secretive somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Charity, I would rather that someone changes and becomes my Morio instead of being waiting and then later abusing me in the relationship. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think when we have the red flags, even like those ones or whatever they are, it's always good to notice them and not close our eyes to it. Or what do you say about that?
The best thing is not, as long as there is no discussion about anything you feel uncomfortable about, you should be able to have a healthy discussion about it. You are not going to agree about everything, but it is the way you discuss that is the whole, the abuse is the way you discuss. When, for example, you are talking about something, somebody has hurt you and somebody is minimizing it, saying that you are being too emotional, you're always emotional, I think you're mental, I think you're crazy, did I say
Yeah,
that, I never
yeah.
said that. Huh?
I find that even for me very, very disturbing. Like you tell somebody, I found this very disturbing, or I experienced something today, and the person just trivializes it. It just thinks, this is not, don't take it serious, this is not so bad. That, for me, this is a big, big red flag. Because if you're in love and you're dating and this person cannot even listen and understand from my side, then for me, that's not the right home for my soul.
Yeah. It has to be a place where you feel safe.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's one thing. Trust your guts. Just trust your guts. God has put in every single one of us, not only the sights of seeing what you see, there is that feeling you feel. Have you ever entered somewhere and you feel like cold?
Yeah.
And later you feel like, I think I should leave this place. Maybe it's a party. And then you don't leave, and then something will end up, and then you will say, from the minute I entered, I could feel I
I
don't need to
felt
be in
it.
this place. That's a gut feeling. We are energy people.
Yeah.
We are energy people, and we vibrate and feel with the feeling. And everybody has a gut feeling. When somebody, or if, for example, if you are in a relationship and you've just met somebody, the way they talk,
Yeah.
even to like the waitresses,
Yeah.
the way they talk to waitresses, the kind of way the way they talk about women. If he's driving a car, for example, and you're driving and there's another woman in front, you know how guys have this tendency of always starting talking.
Okay.
I don't know why most guys do that, but there's another way of the way they refer to women. If you see somebody who diminishes women all the time,
That's a
then
red
it's a
flag.
red flag. But also for the guys, if a guy sees a woman who likes to refer to men like all men are dogs or something like that, statement, you have had statements like that. Yeah. You better be careful with such a woman. She's not very ready in a relationship. She's not very emotionally yet able. So a small thing will trigger her to think of her past relationships and then start blaming you even for things you have not done because she's comparing you with a past lover and all that kind of things.
It's so true.
Yes. If there's no trust from the very beginning,
Yeah.
then just remain friends. You can just be casual friends. You don't have to be steady.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a steady relationship. You can have be happy. Yeah, friendship. Yeah.
Wow.
But there is one other thing which I wanted to tell you, which is very, very somebody who starts denying you access. They want to have access onto your things, like your phone. Yeah. But you never get to see anything of theirs, huh? And they get very, very mad. But if your phone rings, they'll pick and say, "Oh, Charity is calling you," and even they'll always look through. But you don't do that. I think, but it has to also go through two ways. If you are doing that, then expect them also to do that. It's not so healthy.
Yeah.
That's the boundaries. Yeah, people should learn to set boundaries, especially with social media right now.
Yeah, this is really crazy. Yeah, I know someone who like when you get a phone call, suddenly they stand up and they want to see who is talking with you, or even I had a case where someone grabbed my phone and insulted the other person without knowing who is that person. He just had a male voice, and then and then he told him he'll cut some very special places from him just without knowing. And I thought, what if it would have been my pastor or my business partner, and the first thing he's hearing is that he's going to be mutilated, for just making a call. This is also a red flag, or not? People who just
that
want
one
to
is an
take over
extreme red
everything.
flag. And that's somebody who's got a very possessive kind of behavior, That should be a no-go. Your life should have some boundaries. There should be a no-go, like appearing in your office or calling you during office hours and there's no emergency. They can text you, but calling you, and you tell them you're in a meeting and they keep on calling you. Or where are you right now? Where are you right now? Where are you right now?
Yeah. Oh, God. This
Or
is
you leave somebody.
scary.
You break up. Oh yeah, that's another one. Whenever you try to leave, you have a disagreement with this person, and then you find them waiting the next day at your place of work. The next day, start talking you. You better be careful, huh?
Those are the dangerous ones, or not? I mean, someone like that is scary.
Yeah, they're scary because they don't want to lose that power, whatever it is they were getting from you, and they'll make sure the problem with them, they can act so irrational anywhere. So such cases, if you really feel your life is unsafe, you should actually just report to the police. They should get a warning.
Yes.
They should get a warning.
Oh, that's scary. That's really scary. Now, Charity, this is something that has been questioned from many people about the financial dependency, or guys or partner who from the very beginning will start asking for money. Is that a red flag? Is it someone that you may fear they may become financially abusive in a relationship later? Is it something that you have to take care about if someone is asking for money or trying to know how much money you earn and how you're using it and all that? Is that and you're not yet married, you're just starting to date and everything, is this something that one has to be taken care of?
Yeah, number one, when it comes to finances, I think from the very beginning, it should be clear every time you go for a date. I am paying. It's nice for people to start being a bit, we are in an age where it's nice to start being, even if the person always wants to pay, it's always nice to say sometimes, today it's on me. So that from the very beginning, so that it's not always one person. Because what can happen is that when a person has targeted you as a victim, in the beginning, they might lavish you with, they might be the ones paying. So the time when they'll ask you for some money, they'll say something like, oh, my check has not come in. There's a business I did somewhere. My check has not come in. And I need to buy this product because I need my, they'll start you with small amounts of money like 500 euro or even 100 euro. The next time is 500. And then the next time is the excuses. And then you should ask yourself, what have I got to do with this business? What value is this whole thing bringing into my mind? How am I sure how I'm going to get back this money? What money should not come in between in the very and that's why people should date enough. This idea of moving in too fast to stay together,
I think it's really, really dangerous, and I don't even mind people do that. I mean, I would be scared. I like my freedom, so it's crazy.
When you are young, not even when you are young, when you are lonely, when you are lonely,
then you rush.
When you are lonely and you see this person, it is easy if they have targeted you, if you don't know yourself. And that is why people, I think it is very important in this day and age for somebody to really take a time, even if it's once in a month, where you have your own whole day alone, accessing yourself. Wondering, why am I angry? Why am I missing this particular person? If there's somebody you are missing and they have suddenly gone cold on you, they are not calling you, find out, why am I really crazy about them calling me? Could it be the universe? Could it be God is taking this person away from me, and here I am still chasing them because they have not called you in a whole week, and you go all grumpy. You know those people who go silent and then you can't get them on the phone, and then they appear again on your door
on a weekend, or even on a weekend. Then the whole week the whole week they don't. You think they died, and then on Friday, because they realize, now I'm free, then they start calling you, darling, sweetheart. I think that's a big red flag as well.
Yes. It's nice to have a journal. It's nice to have a journal so that you note, when does this person appear? Every feeling that you get, I was so happy, write about it in the journal. I was so sad. Write exactly why were you sad. I was angry because the whole week they don't call me, and then they come on Friday, and then they say we go for a drink, and then we reach there, and then when the waiter comes with the drink, they say, oh, you know what? Can you believe it? My so and so did not pay money. My M-Pesa or my account is whatever, but don't worry, I'll pay you back. And then you know what happens? The next time you meet them, the story of that debt is never talked about.
It's over for bye.
And then because women don't like, now you don't want to make him run away from you by asking him about your debt. So already now you take it in. They come again like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You pardon them. And I think, and because they're good profilers, they will really, they note that, and they know, there now I know I can always be using this and that. They use that, and it's really crazy. Yeah, Nyathi Akinyi is saying, who am I feeling talked to? Nyathi Akinyi, evaluate. Charity, I think you're talking to a lot of people, not only those ones who are talking like Nyathi Akinyi here, but I think everybody is listening and learning. Even my friends here are laughing on the side, but I will not touch their names. You hear all those points being dropped, these are in celebration of the points, Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And then also there is the anger, Be very careful about those type of people who just, you go out, and then just because somebody looks at you, they get very angry and worked up and say, you want him, eh? Or even if it's her, you want her, eh? You want her, eh? You are even in the car. Just because you happen to be... They want to control where your eyes move.
Hey, this is serious. This is
Let me tell
serious.
you, I had this man, this one, that ex taught me a lot about, now when I recall this, that's how I know about, I see all these things after doing the research. We would be in a pub, drinking. Then after some time, they would start changing. You see, their mood is changing. We are all together. We are friends. Now we are friends. We used to walk a group, everybody with their girlfriend or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they start. By that time, now we've gotten married. That is when now I really stopped now, like going out with him, because every time when we went, by the end of it out, I'll be beaten because that I was exchanging eyes with somebody. Now,
No. Are you
this person,
serious?
you don't even know what they are talking about.
Oh my word.
And sometimes even be slapped.
Oh.
The minute, by the way, if somebody ever slaps you or
Yeah.
throws something at you,
Yeah.
they are gonna do it again. It doesn't matter whether they apologize with cars, they apologize with what, they take you to Europe for a holiday or to Africa or the moon or whatever.
Dubai.
Just be sure they are gonna do it one day.
It's very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
You
Very
you
true.
must do something about it. Either go to your elders and really they have to confess, because what happens if he apologizes or only when you're the two of you, there is no witness.
It's not enough.
Yes, and then after a while, it becomes now recurrent. You know the cycle. There's a cycle of domestic violence. Somebody abuses you, the next time they hit you, and then after that they go silent. Those days when everybody turns, they come in, they don't talk to you like for about 3 days or 2 days. Don't eat in the house. Don't take anything. Blah,
Hey.
blah, goes. Then they come just one fine day with the flowers.
Oh, the khaki.
You know why they do it?
Yeah.
You know now why they do it?
No, tell
Because
me.
they have realized maybe you have already talked to somebody. Maybe you have gone like into a group like, our group where we really help,
Yeah.
Kenya women in Germany. Maybe they have come there and they have been told, they have learned, these are the signs. So this person is suddenly gotten confidence. And these people, because they have targeted you, they notice when you change.
Yeah.
Because human beings, we are animals. You can sense when somebody wants to come and beat you. Like, today I'm going to be beaten.
Hey.
Today people are not in a good mood.
You
Today
can
there's
sense
going to
it.
be a problem. Yeah. So now they know, I think I'm losing a bit of control. So they come with the love things now. The flowers. Come, I really want to take you for dinner today. But because you have been journaling, when you go to this dinner after they have seen that you have relaxed yourself and you have now come back into their cocoon, they will say something out of the ordinary. They will comment something. And you'll tell them, like, they might say something like, today you're looking lovely. But with that makeup, I don't think it really suits you very much. Something like, or something about your hair, or they say, comment something about your clothes, or they can even laughingly compare you with somebody else, and then you start sulking and then say, hey, I was just joking. Hi. You
This is
think that one,
crazy.
even I can like them. They're not my type. I don't know what. But they said it. It was a thought. It came out of as word.
Yeah.
They meant it.
Yeah.
That friend of yours is beautiful. I like the way she dresses, something like that. She suits this kind of, Why would somebody think like that or have such a conversation?
Wow. Wow.
It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
This is really crazy. Yeah. This is really crazy. This
Yes.
is really crazy.
And
Yeah.
of course, there's the monitoring of spending. And I think you had asked about it. When somebody decides, why are you spending so much? You are just dating. Somebody gets angry because you are buying your friends a drink.
Yeah.
I've seen people who carry wallets, ladies who take the man's wallet and carry it, that they are the ones who are going to monitor the bills or whatever. Or I've seen also men who carry women's handbag, and you think it's a very lovely thing that is carrying your handbag. And then when you reach there, he tells you, you know what, give me the money so that it will look like the man is the one who's paying. But
I don't do that rubbish. I mean, if you want to pay, just pay from your own pocket, man.
well, that's an African one, very much so.
I just saw that it looks like I'm the one paying. Hey, this is serious. But I've had, yes, I've had such cases.
Not even him, even you are the one who is giving him under the table.
Hey,
Because you don't want your friends to see that you're the one who is paying.
my goodness.
Because your buddies are there, this young, tall, handsome, blah. You want it to see, even you will say something that you bought for him and yourself, that you say he bought for you. And of course, he doesn't care. He'll just smile.
Hey, and you buy yourself flowers and you tell them it's he who is.
Yeah, you go on Facebook and say, flowers. Yeah.
But this is so
Yes,
crazy, man. This is just crazy. Guys,
yes.
remember this. You can listen on us on live on air in www.crradio.com and also on Facebook and YouTube. You can listen to us and you can be part of this conversation. We are having right now Charity Wanjiru Ngugi Lats.
Wairimu.
Eh, my God, my tongue has refused. Charity Wairimu Ngugi Lats. I have even to go slow. I'm a Meru. My tongue is not very obedient when it comes to a lot of L's and R's, and I'm really lost. That's the tactic of going slow, because otherwise there will be a lot of fight with
Yeah, yeah.
the alphabet. But it's very nice that you're dealing with this topic because I'm very sure there are so many listening, even people like Nyathia Kinyi thinking that they're being spoken to. I mean, this is a very important issue. And Dumba Boy in Kenya listening, Ann Pertler in Austria listening, and many others who I cannot touch on right now. Thank you all for listening. Charity, it's really special that you're talking with us about that. But there's also another aspect of while you're dating, how to identify abusers. If you're a mother, a single mom with kids, because sometimes when you're dating, you may concentrate so much on you and forget that you are a mother of children. So, Radio R is asking, where are men? Charity is demolishing you. Also, men, you should...
Oh, yeah. When you have children,
Yeah.
let me tell you, children, it is your sole responsibility as a mother or even as a single father before you bring another woman into the house.
Yeah.
It is your sole responsibility to keep this private part of your life as much as possible away from the children. Don't involve them too fast. Because what about if it breaks up and then next time you're bringing another one? You start confusing the children. And so the best thing is that you are home. Let your home be your home for you and your children.
Yes.
If you need to spend out, get a babysitter and go to the person's house. Either way, is it the lady or whatever?
Yeah.
But first of all, let your children and be as close to your children as possible, because especially if you're single, it is nice to have all kind of communication talks with your children, from sex to how, if somebody ever comes and touches them, if somebody ever gives them a present, they should never ask, when people are in the house, they should never ever ask for anything from a visitor of yours. And so that you set the boundaries between these children and that person, and any other person who is not in their... These days we are seeing it's very close, even relatives, uncles, and what have you, yeah?
Yes.
So it is very, very important, because if you make them so close to the person and later there is a separation, who says when they go up there, when this girl is becoming, especially that teenage act, she will not call this particular uncle who you had introduced as uncle or whatever, and go there to ask for money, and they'll give them, and then before you know it, they are dating.
Things are happening. Yes, I've had such
It has
cases, my dear.
happened. It happens all the time.
It has happened, yeah. And this
It
is so
happens.
heartbreaking.
Yes, because you brought this person there into your life. You are showing all the lovey-dovey, and then you broke up with this person. Now you are with another new person. Again, you have brought another new uncle into the house. And then another time, another new uncle. Who is this? What are you telling your child? That it is okay. And maybe this particular uncle, in the first days, he brings a lot of nice things for the children, gives them whatever, and then the quarrels start, and then the abuse starts, and then they are kicked out, and then a new one comes, the same cycle. So this girl grows up knowing that men are there to get things from. So long as a man is and that is why you see right now there's a lot of slaying, what we are calling the slay queens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, that explains a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you're just single, just try and separate it. There is time. After all, a relationship it's a good relationship before you get married. Please get to know each other.
Yeah, and I think not you don't have to do the dating in front of the children. You can have, like you said, you
Yeah.
can go somewhere, either go to the person's house or even their lodges. My goodness, you can go to the lodge, and if you need to have to
Yeah.
spend the night away, but not
Yeah.
today you're bringing this Mr. John, the next week you're bringing Mr. Simon, and then the children are confused. They don't know which uncle is which,
Yeah,
you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Like I am telling you, all these things are things I have passed, these things I've experienced, these things I've witnessed live. So I know, and not one, not isolated cases. Very, very, very. In fact, a lot of people who are raped, usually rape.
Yeah.
It usually happens as to somebody, because even these days, even young men, yeah, the youth, the young men, they are being
Wow.
seduced, and it all happens within a circle of they were very close to this person. This person was close to their parent in one way or the other, associated with their parent, and their parent showed them that they could trust this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think children, they are your children, and their father or their mother, those are your children.
Yeah.
Third parties, stop bringing them in until when the time is right, you will
Yeah.
know the time is right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll also have grown with the respect of knowing that this is an elderly person. This is a father figure.
Yeah.
They'll not be looking at him as this is mom's boyfriend or dad's girlfriend. It will be, yeah. You
Especially on
understand?
the issue of, yeah, my children say this sounds always so funny. Like you when you say that my mom is meeting her boyfriend or whatever today,
Yeah.
and you're already, I don't know over which year, and it sounds very funny because the children are big and you're also dating at the same time. Nyati
Yes,
Akinye
the
said,
children.
yeah, Nyati Akinye said one child once said in Kita, wir haben immer wieder neue Papa. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Can you hear that?
yeah,
Yes.
so the children are confused already. Yeah, they have different papas. Eh?
Yeah. Observant. Yeah. Children are observant.
Yeah, very, very,
And,
very.
and what do you think such a young man is going to do? As far as he's concerned, he'll never take his relationship seriously.
Exactly. The bindung, the bonding, you will not even allow it because he's afraid it may not work or he saw it differently. Hmm?
Yeah, he's so different. He thinks you can just change them anytime.
Like
You stay
clothes.
with them. Yeah, you change them.
Yeah.
There's no need of having. It's really and for example, infidelity.
Yeah.
That is it's bad. If you catch a new person you're just dating, they told you they had broken up with their ex, and then the next time you're seeing they're texting with their ex, the next time you see them somewhere, the ex made sure they took a photo and put it on post just because they knew you're gonna see, and then they give you all kind of excuses, and they never even told you that they were going to meet with their ex to talk. I mean, all these kind of small signs. If you feel this person is cheating on you and you just catch them once. You don't have to catch them 100 times for them to stop. They are not
One
going
time
to
is
stop.
enough.
One time is enough. If somebody is cheating on you one time, globe me.
And especially if you are dating or getting to know that person and he's already
Yeah.
cheating on you. So what's the point of going on?
Yeah, at least when it's already in marriage, that one you can work it out. You can try and work it
Yeah.
out somehow, going
Yeah.
for professional help and all that kind of thing. But when it is a dating, why do you want to put yourself through all that?
It's true. There's a big
I was
point
being
there.
cheated at dating live. Like, I mean,
Really?
sometimes, when you look back and then you really get angry with yourself. But
Yeah.
right now I said, I don't want, because I think our age was a time when we could handle problems. The young generation of right now, when they get ages, they call everything, I'm so stressed out. I am so depressed. And, when you start believing you're depressed, you get into depression and you believe it, you isolate it, you're feeling ashamed. You think the whole social media knows that so and so broke up
The
with
whole
you.
world. Uh-huh.
The whole world, and you don't realize nobody knows you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Now, this is something, it's so amazing to hear from you that you have had your experience. And I don't know, what would you say? Did you learn in the process how to check on those signs, or you had known before, but you ignored the signs? What would you say? I mean, what would you advise people who are maybe already dating, or they are thinking of getting into that relationship? How best to end or to deal with such relationships?
How to deal with them?
Yeah.
The best is just to make closure.
Okay.
Make closure and stick to the closure. It's hurting,
It's
it's
hard.
hard work, but you just have to. That's why you have to journal.
Yeah.
You have to journal and just see how is this affecting. You have to address your feelings. Stop, stop suppressing. Stop
Yeah.
suppressing your shame or your anger and about it. Call a friend of yours and talk about it. Don't you be scared that this friend might later go. This is now where we go wrong. I'm not gonna tell anybody because this person might. I'm not saying that you advertise it to the whole world, but surely there's somebody
Yeah.
you can talk to.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody and tell them, I really need you to tell me something. This is what I have been going through. This and this and this. They did that. They did that. They lied to me about this. Then later I found out they're still seeing each other with their ex. They borrowed money from me. They did not give me. They took my card and I found that they had removed the money and bought something. My card was missing. I am starting to see that they are controlling my money. They are starting to control what time I come home. And when I come home and then they're starting to go all moody, they go all icing on me. They go all cold, silent treatment. And then I'm getting emotionally worked up. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm starting to fear them. When you start feeling all these things, please, you don't have to wait until 3 years later because the more you stay, the more also the person gets used to it. And the
Of
more also
course.
they find it hard to let go unless it's them who are leaving you. So the best thing, just look for somebody and talk to them. Just talk to this. We are in a day and age when you can talk, or you have closed group. Ask an anonymous question anywhere,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that people don't know. The problem with anonymous questions when they come to a big post is that you'll get 1,000,001 answers. Some
Yeah.
of them
True.
will even abuse you, tell you how stupid it is you
Yeah.
are, and that kind of thing. That is why it is good to talk to, call the hotlines. When you call these hotlines, there are questions they ask you. They
Yeah.
have a set of questions they ask you, this and this and this, and you find you have answered out of these questions 5. Is there any communication between you? Is there a compulsive liar? Are they taking responsibility for about whatever at home or whatever you agree upon? Is there some sexual abuse? Are they forcing you when you do not want to, and they will take no for an answer? Or you are telling them you're waiting? Or is there are some of your friends and have some of your friends and family expressed something negative about this person? And when, yeah, what was it they were expressing? And these are the kind of questions I would ask somebody if they came to me. I have them all there. Are they keeping secrets? Are there sometimes when they go disappear in acts for a week or something, and when they come back, they don't even talk about it? Sometimes they just come back in your life and continue like nothing happened?
It's crazy.
Yes. Are they extremely possessive? What about their past? Are they asking, or are they pondering? Are they asking you too much questions about you, too much about your past? They want to know everything about you, but when you really think about it, you know nothing about them. And then, are they questioning your friends? Are they starting to get too close to your friends and family and getting too close until your friends and family think that they're the best person that came on this earth for you? Oh, thank God, she's finally found somebody. Something like that. And is that person being praised too much? Why? What is he? Is he lavishing them with gifts on giving them money so that he can win them and isolate you?
This is
Are you
crazy.
starting to overdrink if you do drink? Have they tuned you to get into some form of addiction? Are they unhappy about your success? Do they downplay your success when you say you got a raise and they just say, you see they're
Yeah.
not happy. When you look at them, you can see. And do they look at you in the eyes? Look at somebody in the eyes. Start looking at them in the eyes when you are giving them a surprise about your success or about you want to go out. See the way that eyes turn. Do they squint? What does that body language tell you? Can
Sure.
you feel they don't like it? Are they asking for password access to your things, your emails, your bank, and all that kind of thing? Check, do all these checks, please. If you don't want to talk to people who know you, just Google abusive. Am I in an abusive? Whatever it comes there, go to the hotline. There's always somebody there who will ask you those questions. Read all those websites. They can also go to my. I would like to advertise mine is yeah, which is dash
Okay.
unmasking-domesticviolence.org. Domestic violence is one word and then .org.
Unmasking dash. The dash,
Dash,
yeah, the upper one or the
I
lower?
think that the upper one, yeah.
Unmasking
Mm-hmm.
dash, and then
Mm-hmm. Domestic violence,
the full word, eh?
the full word is one without any gap, yeah, and then .org.
.org. Okay.
Yes, I have all the different forms of abuse. I have all the question how you can identify a potential abuser and all that kind of things.
Because actually there are different types of abuse. There is the sexual abuse issue, which I think is a bit tricky to identify if you're not sexually involved with the person. If you're dating,
Mm-hmm.
like let's say Christians who believe in abstinence before you marry, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How will I know if someone is sexually abusive? I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
sexual abuse, sometimes we think also abuse is only with children, but even for grown-ups. Like recently, I was seeing a case on FB about a man who was abusing and sodomizing his pregnant wife. So
Mm.
the sad thing about it is that he's been doing it for years, she said. And she
Mhm.
tolerated it until she could not anymore, because this time she was pregnant with their third child, and he still made it to molest her and sexually abuse her. And then she made it to go to court. And do you know what a fellow woman was saying on Facebook? Yeah, why are we complaining if he is alichukua mali yake? You know,
Yeah,
he
sis
was.
too.
What is this? I mean, I was really surprised. Can it be that sometimes we don't know the lines, that we don't draw the lines early enough? You know?
The
Because,
thing is,
and then in this case of abstinence, how do I still identify that someone can be sexually abusive if I'm not sexually active with the person? This is difficult.
the only way is you can know that the person is sexually abusive is because you don't have to have sex with somebody to ask their to discuss what is their take about sexual about sex, discuss and just find out what do they think about sex. Do they think that a wife, if somebody once they marry somebody, do they think that that woman has the right to give them to make love with them
There,
when they
anytime he
want?
wants. Uh-huh.
Yeah, anytime they want. What do they take? How do they take this? I'm the head of the family. What? Because different people take this. I'm the head of the family. It's nice to have a man as the head of the family.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you are equal. But he is the protector in the family. He's there to protect. That's why the head idea comes in the family.
Yeah.
And you are the nurturer. You are the mother. Your mother, all of them. You mother him. You mother your children. You are,
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you do all the housework and the cleaning, and you're and him. He comes from work and puts his leg up, and when you come from work, you still have to do all these things. It's a matter of balance. That is why there must be communication. We are in a day and age where it's not our issue to talk about sex. What is your take about sex? Yeah.
Actually, I think it's compulsory, because especially the Christians, the serious Christians who want to do everything right, they avoid
Mhm.
this topic, and I think it's very dangerous. I mean, you don't have to engage in sexual act to know how someone is thinking about that sexual life and what
Yes.
a woman's duty is, because some of them say, oh, we want to obey God, so we are not going to tempt each other by talking about sex. But then it can be that this person is really abusive or has a mentality that sex is something that he can get anytime he wants. Like, I mean,
Yes.
this case has shocked me very much. Even today, when I imagine that woman had to go to the hospital right away after he went to the police. They could not believe that as husband who already has 2 children with this woman could do something like that. But I think this is a type of a man also who thought he will take it whether she likes it or not, and in whichever form, because I think also people have to talk openly about that, and also the forms of sex. There are things that we in Africa we don't do, and we'll come maybe in the diaspora and you find things are very normal here. So I think it's also very important to talk about it, or not.
Yes, it is important because that is a body which needs, because one of the forms of domestic violence when it comes to sexual abuse is actually the idea of is it usually happens. A lot of the sexual abuse actually doesn't happen during this time when the person is not pregnant. It's when the person gets pregnant that is usually when sexual abuse happens. And after giving birth also, the sexual abuse happens. You are not given time to heal. In our customs, in our traditional times, the woman had time ile ya kupatiwa mauji na nini na nini. And even when she was pregnant, a certain time, some things like, for example, like, and that is where maybe like things like polygamy were there, because then it balances, or I don't know what it is, but there is a way a person can control themselves because you are two people. But when the person says, for example, there's this idea, there's also the sexual abuse of they are refusing you to take contraceptives, to take any form of, so that you can give your body time to heal, so that you have like every 2 years a child and not one after the other, so that your body doesn't have time to heal. The thing is, when you feel you're sick because you're feeling sick, you're feeling pain, and the person refuses and has sex with you, that is sexual abuse, and that is rape.
This is rape. Yeah, this is a very hard topic for our people in Africa, especially in Africa, to take it. How can I rape my wife? This is what they say. She's my wife. I have a right. That's what they think. But
you'll be so surprised.
Yeah,
you'll be so surprised. It's not about Europe. Let me tell you something. Domestic violence. You'll be so surprised. After doing my research, I found you can't believe even here in Germany how many native Germans they saw the domestic violence going in. In fact, theirs is very much financial and sexual.
It's so crazy, yeah.
Yeah, very crazy, and because it is. It is just about power and control. If you get married to a person, but the thing is, because people, why the victim never reports.
Yeah.
That is the problem. Even when you go to your house arts, because if you go to your house arts and you tell your house arts what's happening, then your house arts can give you a letter and you can go to the doctors. But then there's all this, the shame, today I was listening to one of the Tuko talks about domestic violence, and this woman was saying every time when she was pregnant, just immediately pregnant, and the person would rape them, the child would die in the stomach.
Oh, God of mercy.
Immediately she comes from hospital, he rapes her again, and she conceived immediately. The second one died. The third one, the same. And she never told anybody. Today is when she came out of it. This
is crazy. I cannot understand. I mean, such people, are they still human?
Yes. He would just rape her, and at that time the doctors say, we have to remove this child, it's already dead, because if you had not come right now, and first of all, how the child would be known that it died, because he would beat her when she's pregnant. Do you know how many women are beaten when they are pregnant? How many are kicked in the stomach when they are pregnant? I was beaten when I was pregnant. I know.
I even know somebody. I know someone who almost died and almost lost her kid because of the husband beating her so badly, because he didn't want a second child, and he would have rather lost them both than to have this child. Until today, this child is affected. The child cannot talk well because of that.
Yes.
And this is really sad. The issue is the issue is when you realize there are some red flags, because you said from your experiences you got away from this relationship. What are the steps? Just clearly, what are the best steps to take from the beginning to the end? Guide us through that. What is the best thing to do at that time.
The best step is you have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And but let me tell you, the minute you start noticing anything, whoever is listening to us will ever listen to this, that if you feel like something has resonated with you from today, start journaling.
Yeah.
Write that journal and hide it.
Journaling means actually writing down what you're experiencing, what the way you're dealing with the person. That's
And
what you
don't write
mean.
it down on your phone.
Yeah.
You went to school. Take a book and write it, because when you write it with your from the head to the book,
Yeah.
and you read it,
Yeah.
you'll be able to start seeing that, you know what, I am in problems. I
Whoa.
have a problem.
Yeah.
I
I
have
never
a
heard of
problem.
this.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can never remember. Like you after some time you can't remember it. You get so easy that even you try and remember what was it I was beaten about. I can't remember most of the time what it was all about. You
Yeah.
can't remember. You can't remember. So the best thing is start writing if you find that there's anything wrong. And then why, if there is beating, one thing I can always tell somebody, when you visit your house arts, talk about you are beaten. Go to the police, say you are beaten. If you are fearing to go to the police because you don't want him to be caught or whatever, now that is now the part where I just go crazy.
Yeah.
Because before we didn't have social media, I know you could go to the police. They were before the days when you go to the police and the tell police in Kenya, that was in Africa, they tell you these are not cases for us. You go to your parents, they say you got married, go back.
Hey.
And parents, that's another thing. When your child comes to you, please, even don't ask her until the day. If she comes home and you see her, she's come home with a bag and she's coming to stay. Even if she's not talking, leave her alone. She'll tell you
Yes.
later.
Yes.
Stop
Yes.
bombarding her. Yeah. Because sometimes you can't even talk.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yes. So the thing is, report, go somewhere safe. If you are here, but if it is beaten, please report to the police because it
Please.
enters the system.
Yes.
And abusers are cowards.
Yeah.
They have something to protect, either their job, their social position, or their friend's position,
Yeah.
or the fact that they can be jailed because it's a criminal offense to beat somebody. But if you never report, or you report and then you're the same one who goes against the police and you go and withdraw. You report and you withdraw, but it doesn't matter. Even if you have done it 2 or 3 times. By the way, it is very difficult for somebody to leave out the first day. You'll always leave and you'll somehow or other be convinced to come.
Yeah.
So if you have left maybe 1 or 2 times, don't worry, it is normal.
It's normal.
You'll find out. You'll
This
go.
is good.
Sometimes utajirudisha, when you return yourself. I tend to talk Swahili when I get emotional.
It's okay.
Sometimes you take yourself back, or he comes and takes you, or the parents come and take you, or your friends come and take you, but there is that part. But it's always nice that there is a witness.
Yes.
Even if you're taking yourself back, please let there be a witness.
Let there be a witness.
And did he really say sorry?
Yeah.
Did he really say sorry? The good thing about going to a Frauenhaus is one thing.
Yeah.
If you go to a Frauenhaus, they realize, I might finally lose her. Oh, she has a place to go.
Yeah.
Now they get very worried. Because before, the laws have changed. This is no time that anybody should disturb you. Bitte, just go to a Frauenhaus. Take yourself to the Frauenhaus. The Frauenhaus can never throw you out.
And especially even in Kenya, I know they have a safe house now. And I know one organization, it's called Usikimie from this
Usikimie,
Jerry
yeah.
Wamegwe. Yeah.
Yes.
And she's rescuing actually not just women, but children and men as well. And for if anyone is listening from Kenya, there is Usikimie in Kenya, and I'm sure there are many other organizations that are forming up right now because they realize it's a big problem because women are dying, even men are dying. I don't know, someone was saying someone burnt his husband because the husband wanted to marry a second wife. Well, that's a talk for another day, but I mean,
Yeah.
even men need saving, so... Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's good. Even in Kenya, there are some home or safe places, and here in Germany, there are plenty, really.
Yeah. Here in Germany, there are many, and especially like now here in Germany, in Europe or whatever, it's so cold. And when this cold comes, and
Yeah.
then you hear now the COVID is increasing.
Yeah.
So what happens? There is going to be isolation. And then
Yeah.
if you are sitting with that person and then they are not doing what they are likely to do, who is the victim?
Yeah.
The weaker one, the
The
one he
weaker
always
one.
beats, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Or she always beats, because like I am saying, I'm not going to be 100% supportive about men. I know women who also misuse their husband. They keep on pushing their husbands
Yes.
to brokenness because he brings the money to you. You cannot take that money well, and you start having a boyfriend outside and using your husband's money on your boyfriend.
That's a no go.
Let's be real.
That's also an abuser,
Yeah,
abusive wife.
that is an abuser. Hmm? You go and come whatever time you will. You have stopped giving him his
Rights,
rights. You know,
if
the
there are
bed
any.
rights. Yeah, yeah. Seriously speaking,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
yeah. Seriously, no. Let us all. It doesn't matter, because domestic abuse is not about, even,
Is
especially in
yes,
today's times. It's
yes.
not even about. It's not
Women
about
only.
the sex
Yeah,
or the race.
yeah, yeah. Domestic violence is domestic violence, and it's applied on everyone, actually.
Yes.
Children, women, men. I mean, before I used to think it's only women. I didn't know. I came to know that when I was in Germany, that even some men get beaten. And I didn't know that before, really. I was very naive in that. But it's good
Oh
to,
yes.
it's very good to make it clear that it's everybody. It can face this, you know. So that's why
Yes.
it's so important to identify these abusers ahead of time.
Oh, yes. And the other one, before that one, we cannot live in. Children who are witnesses of domestic violence, that's a form of abuse. Children, not them necessarily being beaten, but the mere fact that they watch all these abuses, the verbal abuse that goes on in that house, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse sometimes, the financial abuse where the husband takes off and leaves them with nothing to eat, and it's only the woman feeding her from Miaga
Yeah,
some little money,
yeah,
because she has no money.
yeah.
They are starving, and when they come into that house, everybody's walking on eggshells.
Yeah,
Hmm?
the lion is in the house.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
women, don't, let me tell you something. Those children, you are allowing them into abuse. It is not correct. I know it is difficult. You know, there's that feeling that if I leave this person, I'll never survive. They are not God.
They are not, and they are not oxygen. As long as oxygen is free, you can still
Yes.
survive.
And
Yeah.
not only that, that person then is not ordained to you by God, because God does not love his children to suffer. And you are a child of God. And as long as you're a child of God and somebody is abusing you, then that is not your soulmate.
Is not. Is
There is
not.
nothing like a soulmate. There is no love there. Love and hate can never go,
It's true.
can never mix, you know?
Sunny
So that is.
Sunshine, just a moment. Sunny Sunshine is saying women should empower women, should
Mhm,
be empowering women. Most women are ashamed or even scared of dealing with this.
mhm,
Settling priorities and boundaries as a woman is also important. And
mhm.
so many other things that, of course, you have said. Yeah, continue. Sorry, I cut you short.
No,
But
no, no, no,
continue.
no. It's okay. Yeah. She's acknowledging the fact that women should set boundaries.
Yeah.
And you cannot set boundaries if you don't know who you are. Who are you? Like, for example, let me just touch on something delicate. I might be eaten for that. But the very fact that you come from Africa and get married to a German, a white person, and then start thinking that now that person is a bit superior because they are white, you
Yeah.
know? The very comment that you allow them
Yeah.
to sit there and always talk about bad about black men, for example, until today psychologically you yourself start talking it. The day they will start abusing you, they'll be abusing you with your blackness
Yes. Say it
and your
loud.
stupid men
Yeah.
and your stupid country. Yeah? So that, never allow somebody to step into a boundary of abusing you as a race or as a tribe, or
Yes.
let's say like tribe.
Yes. Or as a gender, or
the
as,
Merus are
yeah.
like this, the Kikuyus are thieves, and the Who are this and that. Let's say, for example, in Kenya, that kind of abuse. So the time when they start abusing you, they say, "You Kikuyu, I married a harlot. Kikuyus are harlot,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So,
Terrible.
abusing you with a race or whatever, that is wrong. And that is why communication, if that person, they watch their language at dating, how do they talk about other people? How do they talk about a certain race?
Yeah, yeah.
What do they think?
How
What
do
do,
they deal with the people from different place? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, even when they talk about prostitutes, do
Yeah.
they talk about prostitutes just like that and taking it, or do they talk from a place of empathy? Yeah, how do they, when they talk about, let's say, like say, or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. When they talk about white people, do they talk about white people from a superiority complex, kind of like those white people are more superior, like being in Europe is everything, and
Yeah.
like getting married to a white is a very important thing. This yourself, and then how are you going to disentangle yourself from that mentality? You'll feel very ashamed that you got away from a white person. You see that you'll continue staying there.
Yeah, this is so crazy. Let me tell you honestly,
Mm.
sometimes some people think if they stop loving a white person, or from, especially this one is something I've experienced from our women, and
Mhm.
it's so sad actually. It's very heartbreaking to think that when they stop living with a white man, when they stop the marriage or divorce from the white person, they
Mm.
are going to lose their value. Can you
Yeah,
imagine? They are going to lose their value because now they are not with the white person who was upgrading their value and their worth now, and then and even they will refuse a loving African guy just because they cannot imagine stooping, sorry, in
yeah, yeah,
whatever, stooping so low to marry a fellow black, because
yes,
they were raised already, they were upgraded, and now
yeah,
they have to downgrade. I mean, this is like open doors for abuse actually. So some
yeah,
of them will stick in these marriages and just hold on even if they're being beaten and being insulted and whatever.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't.
the thing is that there's nothing that nobody can upgrade you, nobody can downgrade you. Only you can
No.
decide how valuable you are.
Yes.
You can decide how valuable you are, and it's only for you to say enough is enough. And if you are abused, if you're the victim, it's you. Without you stepping in, people cannot step or to help you. They'll only come to step to take your grave to your body to the
Yeah,
grave.
yeah,
Otherwise, nobody can ever tell you walk out.
yeah.
That because there are intricate things that nobody can ever tell you, but there are those things which can really show you this person doesn't love me. I'm not going anywhere in this relationship. I'm subjecting my children to a lot and a lot of torment.
Yeah.
The children will get traumatized. They'll end up doing badly in school, bad grades. They'll always have an inferiority complex. And when the father abuses or the mother abuses them with the blackness and whatever, like I know, for example, that there's a lot of sexual abuse for our men. Just married. That I'm sorry to say. Today, I'm a very blunt person. Our
I
men
like
married
it.
to Yes, our men married to a lot of white women. They are really used as sex objects. You're coming from your hard job, and the person just wants to, and you have to persevere.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
know
true.
if you can prove it? Oh yeah, and because of this fear of deportation, right now it's not like before.
Yes.
If
Oh,
you
that
have
breaks
got
my
your
heart.
proof, go to your doctor, talk to your doctor, tell your doctor, tell whatever, let it get into the system. Report. If this woman hits you because they are also beaten, throwing things at you, hitting you with things, it's only that no man wants to say, please, man, talk. Nobody's gonna know. If you don't want anybody to know, nobody's going to know about it
Yeah,
because they are lawyers and whatever, and you're not going to be deported.
yeah, yeah.
And that's why when you come, never allow somebody who tells you not to get an education. Never allow somebody who isolates you from your community, that they never want to see with African people. They are not allowed in that house. Just
Hey,
because they know how to live on their own, you don't have to change who you are. Getting married to somebody, you don't have to change who you are.
No, you can remain who you are, really.
Yes, remain who you are. And
Yeah.
from the very beginning, it's nice not to overchange too much when you meet somebody at the date, because then it becomes very difficult now to become who you are after you have already shown another person. Yeah, yeah. So try it as much as possible. Just be authentic as much as possible.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Princess Carol, you're saying you're listening from Kenya. You're welcome. And Sunny Sunshine is saying when it comes to different cultural backgrounds, it's important to get to know each other, understand
Mm-hmm.
each other, and before driving deeper into a relationship. This is so important. So we have to watch out and get to understand to know each other. This is
Mm-hmm.
what you said, Charity. You
Yes.
said we have to get to know each other. We don't rush. We don't rush. We
Mm-hmm.
don't go and start living with a person. And if the person wants to rush and get to start to live with you in your own house, then you have to be careful because because
Yes.
that's a red sign. And
Oh,
then
yes.
Sunny Sunshine says again that it's not right. I don't know what she's talking about. Falling for love means to understand and love the person as the person is, not that someone need to change the partner into your own favor. You have to take care how you deal with the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it will never work when you think you are going to change the person. So actually, it's important that you notice that at the beginning. Getting to
Yes.
know each other is very important. That's why we are talking about it, about identifying these signs, these red flags, identifying the abusers from the beginning. So she says it will never work to change someone from their cultural background. It takes a lot of respect and understanding and being open-minded.
Yes.
Violence isn't the solution. Communication and emotional understanding is important. So what do you say
Yes.
about that? Of course, I mean, she's underlining what you've already said.
Yes. No, yes, communication and what we call that, your emotions are important. We always say, wachana na hizo my emotions. Forget those emotions. You are too emotional. And somebody tells you are too emotional. No, listen to your emotional. Your
Yes.
emotional.
Oh,
And
yes.
listen to the other person's emotions also. Balance them, listening. Try to understand them. If you have a communication, you are going to come to an equal place.
Yes.
You are both learning each other. But the best thing is that at that dating time, because I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, I don't know them, but I know a lot of cases where most of the people, if you hear to the story in the background, is that, for example, the person went to Thailand or wherever, let's say, for example, so that we don't use Africa all the time, went to Thailand, got a lady from there. So when they bring them there, what this person liked, so which is almost equal like Africa, is our, let's say Africa, for example, is our social attitude. We are laughing people. We are the people who are loving. We are people who like to do some things like for the man, the minute you're with him, we like to wash your clothes and iron them and such things, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And the person will like you for that because here in Germany they didn't have that, maybe, for example, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have that kind of thing. But do it as long as you're doing something that you're not being forced. And him, for example, might be the type who likes to do the shopping and
Yeah.
bring you presents. It's all a matter of bringing each other your cultures and enjoying each other and discussing it. If you feel something, don't sleep. Like the Bible says, don't go home, don't be angry. Don't go
Yeah.
to sleep angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try and discuss it, because those small things, when they pile up, they pile up. Anytime they do this, they will trigger it, and then resentment comes in. Then you hate the person. Then when you see them, you just feel ooh. And the same thing is happening to them because there are some unanswered questions, and mainly finances. Finances.
Oh, yeah.
Learn in Europe, learn the culture of the people that here people sit down and do a budget at the end of the month. Just don't go shopping and take the budget and just buy something which you had not discussed about it. Yeah.
Wow. It's really deep, actually, because I think some of the things are really very difficult to know on the onset. That means I cannot sleep. I cannot let my feelings drive me. You know, the danger is like some of us, when we fall in love, we fall, even we become blind right away. Even if that person comes with gumboots, we will not see them anymore. We are so in love, we are so blind, we don't see anything. We only see the savior now has come. And this is, I think, also the issue of the finances is a big issue, especially when these cross-cultural marriages happen, or these relationships. It doesn't have to be a marriage. It can also be just the connection because of the papers. Some of the migrants, you're here, you're in a very difficult situation. You end up getting into something that is very abusive, although you saw the red flags. And this is where you're telling them, if they find themselves in that situation, if anyone finds himself, he's being abused, be it a young man or be it a young lady or an older person, it can happen to anybody. They should do something about it and not just resign in their situation.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't have the chance to get to know the person because, like Sunny Sunshine said, these people are very smart. Yeah, they're abusers. They are very manipulative. They will turn the things around. Out the truth will be turned, like then it comes out like you're the one who is actually abusive and not them. So how do you deal with that, especially those people who have these narcissistic characters? Whatever, if you complain, if you confront them, they will turn it so that it looks like it's you who has done something wrong.
Yes, that is gaslighting. And the only way you can identify that is always noting down, no matter how simple a thing is.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it happens, read it again. And you realize, every time it was not my mistake, but they say they turned it around and said they didn't say that, they didn't do that. They said that I'm the one who's stupid. I can't think things. That is the gaslighting. Always, the thing is, you don't have to stand that. You have to know yourself. You know what? Stand for your truth. If you're already in that mess of a thing, try and have a conversation. Tell them, you know what? I think it's gone too far. We need to sit down and talk. No matter how emotional and angry they get, you tell them, we have to sit down and talk. And if you really realize that they will never want to sit down and talk, then it's a high time you walked out of your door and go to the what do you call it? There are all these services. Go to diaconie, go to wherever, there are so many Caritas.
There's so many.
There are so many. If you are a Kenyan, come to Quig. We have a group. We have even people who are working with some of these services. They'll be able to talk you into identifying, is it something which can be corrected, or has it gone too far, or what is it that you really need? Because at the end of the thing is, what do you want?
Exactly.
How ready are you? But most of the people want to get out, but they are scared because of the finances, because they have not educated themselves about the rights that they have here, that you can actually go to a Frauenhaus with your children. There you'll get a therapist. You'll get you'll go to job center. You'll be able to get money. You'll be able to look for apartment. You'll be able to walk and get out. It's not easy. Nothing is easy, but it is better than staying where you are. Because you'll be able to go to school. You'll be able to start working if you had been refused to work. You'll be able to continue with your school if you had been. You'll be able to be a human being. Nobody, just say nobody has a right to own your life.
Exactly.
And you know what? Let me tell you something, Agnes. The most interesting thing is that sometimes if you take that step, you could easily go out, like to that Frauenhaus, and when the person realizes that really they have gone, there are some who are not chronic narcissists, and then they realize their mistake, and they can actually go for help. They'll get some help, and at some later time, because you had separated, you have ever had? That's why people are given a period of separation.
Yeah, there's 1 year in Germany.
Yes, because this separation time gives you time to
reflect.
Do I want to let go of my family?
Or not?
Am I going to allow my children just to walk away like that? Really, I did that wrong. Maybe this was somebody who was over drinking the company they were keeping. Maybe they had a sideline chick, and then all this confusion, and then they will own up. to their mistakes. They'll send their friends over, a group of people, to come and talk to this person and tell them, and then there'll be accountability partner. There'll be an accountability partner. Then they can come back and they can really have a good life again together, because now there'll be dignity, there'll be respect, and that. But because there was no communication, you let go, you let them get over, you started getting scared, they isolated you, they used their moods on you, you know. Sometimes a little separation.
Yeah.
Take a little separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you lose your career, you lose your finances, you lose everything. Take a little separation. You're in Bushland, you're not going to go hungry on the streets. And you're not going to be deported. You are not going to be deported. You are going to be deported for what? You have got evidence.
It's true. This is the biggest fear, especially here in diaspora. If someone is mistreating you, this is the biggest fear that people have. If I just go, if I move out, and I will be deported right away back to Africa, back to wherever I come from. But people forget there are even some people who will listen to you in this place. So it's not all lost. It's better that way than to die, or even to die of depression or whatever.
Yes, and let me tell you, Agi, the good thing is this. If, I wanted to say the problem is you think that, okay, let me persevere until, I don't know, I always see people giving that kind of very crazy advice. Persevere for the next, persevere, it's only another 7 months or what to go. The problem you're forgetting is the abuser knows that.
Yeah.
And now the more that you're Caribbean and you're coming close to the time that you can get that automatic, what do you call it? The residency.
Yeah.
That is the time when they become very crazy. If you ever watch most of these intermarriages where somebody is dependent on the host country or your paper on the marriage, when it is that year when you are about to get that is when the abuse becomes worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, so that you don't hold out, so that you cannot become independent.
And that is the time they start even contacting the police. I've heard of cases where they provoke the person, they hit the person, and then the person in self-defense hits them or takes something because maybe they are strangling them. So take something and hits them, then they call the police.
Yeah.
And you know how the police cases go? Whoever calls first is the one who takes a P3, is the one who has a right. You never reported, he has beaten you 100 times. You just hit him today, and he wanted you to do that so that you can be thrown out of the house. How many? Why wait, my sisters? Why?
Yeah, no waiting. So important. Because some people they will just keep quiet because of that fear, especially. And I'm glad that you're talking about that, because it's so important. There's so many people dying and even really, really suffering, getting scarred for life because of such situation and such belief that if I just move my leg out of this place, I'm finished, I'm done. Or if I tell somebody, I'm done. Sometimes you don't even have to leave right away, but you can have psychological help.
Yes.
You can just look for someone to help.
Yes.
I don't know. In every place, especially in Germany, there is so much help given to people who are suffering, going through abuse, in whichever way possible. But now going back to the issue of identifying them before you even get so deep into the relationship. I was thinking of the emotional abuse. One has to take, what is your take? Because some people think the physical is more important to take care of and to run off from than the emotional abuse. What do you tell them before we go to a direction of ending?
The physical heals, the emotional goes into the soul, the heart, your organs, your internal organs. You get all these chronic diseases. You get all these, very serious illnesses like depression. You start getting sick. Your immune system is affected. It becomes very weak. You can no longer eat, or you can't sleep, or you overeat, or you can't sleep well. You can't think well. You can't focus well, you forget about yourself. And let me tell you something, with the physical, I'm not saying that it is any better, but the physical can heal,
Yeah.
Because it's a scar,
Yeah.
But the emotional, which is psychological, it is very, very, very difficult. Many things happen. you might go like me into alcohol and promiscuity, or another one goes into depression and whatever. Another one goes to just becomes a workaholic and not happy, even not time for their children. They lose even touch with their children because they remove the anger they are getting from their husband on the children.
On the
So
children. Wow.
so I know parents, children who are really being beaten, not by the father, they're beaten by their mothers because the mothers are being beaten by their fathers. They're always angry, they're always crying, and they let it out. And then they're emotionally imbalanced.
Oh my.
So
Oh my.
don't allow it. Don't allow it. Yes, don't allow it. Just talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Talk to Google.
Mr. Google is always there listening. It's true. It's very true.
Yes.
It's very true. And if you are in such organizations, or you've seen things like Quig, Kenya Women in Germany, they also have ways of helping. Charity Wairimu Gugi Lats is also there. And I saw you're also part of this team in AMD also. Are you also part of the AMD, African Women Moms in Deutschland? Are you also doing the same work?
No, I'm not. I'm a member there, but
you're a member, but you just talk about it sometimes. Okay.
No, I talk about it. If I find a post there, I give my wherever I find a post. It doesn't matter wherever it is. Yes. I dream this thing because I really feel women, people, especially women, because they are the weaker ones physically. They are the ones. They really need to know who they are. Know yourself. And I am open. Anybody can always write to me on Facebook Messenger. I do this voluntarily. There's nothing I'm charging. I listen and I talk and I can give my 2 cents. I am not a professional social worker, but I think I have made it a point to really study and research. And the only thing that hindered me from doing this professionally is because by the time I was learning this now, to start learning the language and doing all those courses, 3 years and what, I'm 62. I got no time for that now.
Yeah. My dear, I know this is how I feel sometimes, even if I'm not at 62, but sometimes I feel like I'm 80 when I think of going back to school. Anyway, I'm reminding those who have not heard or have missed this, they can also listen to it on Tuesday from 10 p.m. on 99.2 FM, or go to our homepage, www.crradio.com. Or you can just check with us on any time, ask for any questions, or even you can call us or write an email for any information that you would like to have. We do also advertisements, so the information is always there. If you go to our homepage or even on Facebook, we are posting all the time also the programs that we have. And like I said, we have had a jewel of a lady. She says she's not studied it, but Charity, you have really brought us a lot of great knowledge today. And I'm so thankful on behalf of all the people who are interested today, who are listening. We don't know where they are, but I know many people are listening. Many people say they'll listen. And I'm praying for whoever has listened and is stuck in this situation, that they have the courage to take the right step. So, and Charity, I am so thankful. Really, thank you so much, especially for your openness about your own experiences. Because sometimes when we talk about some topics, they think, oh, this is so far-fetched because it's not authentic, it's not real. But you're talking even from your experience. And I'm so thankful for that, because people can hear, oh, it's possible. Look, the lady, she made it, she's out of it, and she's now living her own life, and she's happy, and she's helping others. So there's hope for everybody. For everybody who is going through this, be it a man, be it a child, be it a woman, anyone can get help. You are not doomed to stay in that situation. No one has cast you to stay in that situation forever. You can come out. But Charity, before we conclude, I would like also people to know where to get you. You said you are a blogger. Please tell us again before we close, and then tell us also about your book, where we can get your book again, and then how, if someone can call you, you can also say your number loudly. Maybe they can,
Okay.
please, so that they know where to get you. And I am really thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm excited that we had this chance.
Okay.
Please tell us how to get you.
Okay. The best, because I like talking about the present. The book is The Perfect Migrant. That is on Amazon. That is 11 people who have written about their story. But there you'll see a lot of people also pass through the domestic violence the domestic violence situation. And that is on Amazon. It's called The Perfect Migrant.
Okay.
That is only one chapter stories. And now my where I have a lot of blogs from everything you can understand about domestic violence and abuse, and it's research. It's unmasking. Unmasking, like you put on the mask, so unmasking, you're removing the mask. Unmasking, dash, the bigger dash, the bigger,
the middle one, or the upper one.
the upper one, yes. So sorry, let me repeat that. Yeah, is unmasking dash domesticviolence.org.
Okay.
And also, I am on YouTube, Charity Warimu Lats, and also on Facebook, I do write, and I'm also in Quig, I do write, and I have my Facebook page, which is Charity Warimu Ngugi Lats. So even from there, somebody can, when you what do you call it? When you scroll, you can come across some of my posts. And I also have a Facebook post on unmasked domestic violence.
Okay.
You can also check there, yeah. And my number, for those who would like to call me, it's +49. If you're calling from outside, it's +49 176 842 07 246.
246. Wonderful. Because
Yes.
it's so important so that the people can at least get to know you. You know, we never know who has listened and who has been touched. For me, just learning from a distance, I am impressed at how much, also how open you talk about it, and it's so real and so authentic. Thank you so much for taking your time. I would have loved to have you here direct in studio, but you're in Cologne. So next time,
Cologne, yes.
next time I'll come looking for you, because I think this is not the end. We still have, I think we still have a long way. We still have many topics I think you still can advise us on. And thank you so much for taking your time. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Yes, and I wish you
very
all the
much.
best in your future. Continue touching lives, continue speaking up, and I love it that you are so vocal on this, because it's an issue that people don't talk about. It's a taboo
Thank you
topic.
for all those who tuned in. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And keep listening to Radio RFM. My shows are, this is Aggie's Live Talk Show. I talk about life and things that affect us. So if also you have a topic that you would like to deal with in the future, Charity, feel welcome to come and ask me, and we are going to tackle that as well.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And anybody else who has something they would like us to talk about, please get in touch with us and visit our homepage or write us an email at radior1923@gmail.com. Or even you can call us, and we are going to look at the topics, because it's about us. It's about our community. Charity, thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest evening of Sunday. We've taken 2 hours. Do you know we've been talking 2 hours now? Did you realize?
It feels like 30 minutes.
Yes, it was 2 hours, my dear, and we still have a lot we could have continued. I have a feeling we could have continued even 3 or 4 hours.
We'll talk on some more next time.
Yes, thank you so
totally
much.
Different, but on domestic violence.
Yes.
I'll get in touch with you. I'll tell you about it. We book it.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much, and all the best. Sell a lot of books and also touch many more lives. God bless you. Have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you, my friends, for listening. Thank you for whoever, wherever. Sunny Sunshine from Berlin, Ann Pötler from Austria, Nyadi Akinyi, like always, and all the other people that I can't. Oh, and Dumba Boy, Slim from Kenya. And many others who I did not touch on. Thank you so much, and God bless. Have a beautiful Sunday. Until next week again on Aggie's Live Talk Show. This is Radio RFM in Germany, Stuttgart, Germany. Till next time. Bye-bye.
The listeners agree. The message is clear.
Here we go.
The best radio station to listen to this year.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best music.
Best tunes.
They got the best music.
Live from Stuttgart City, Germany.
99.2 Radio RFM.
Your home of African music.
We play only your choice.
Disney's Aladdin up November.
We already started 2021 with a great sound. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop African hits, broadcasting live from Stuttgart City to the world. 99.2
99.2
Radio RFM, a place where music lives. For live stream, interviews, and non-stop African hits, we welcome you to our website www.cradioara.com. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Ram our YouTube channel at Radio Ara FM or follow us on Instagram at Radio Ara 99.2 FM and Radio Ara on Facebook.
Everybody gets high sometimes, you know. We gon' start this thing go right. Say what? Got the guns out in the house tonight. We gon' start this thing go right. Say what? We got the ATL in the house tonight.
You're listening to only the best internet radio station in the world.
Are you living in the diaspora? Oh yes, 99.2 FM, Radio R.
This is your number one radio station.
Stuttgart, Mannheim, Ludwigsburg, Kassel, Tübingen, Heilbronn, all the way to Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, East Africa combined. Canada Richards and Divino Richard tunawaletea muziki ya kinyumbani.
Tena na tena na tena na tena.
Radio R, tukutane online.
Real World presents
Taking you on a music journey around Africa and the world.
The station with the best music.
99.22 FM. This is Radio Ara.
This is Radio Ara.
Home of African music.